Hey everyone, this is Jeff. Welcome to another episode of The Coin Show. Today is a little bit of a different kind of show. Now, I've told you guys in the past that on these live coin roll hunts that I do, I record the video, and as I do it, I commentate or comment. Made up a new word there, commentate. I comment, and that's the video you guys see. But then I also say that sometimes I go back and I rewatch the videos looking for errors I may have missed during the first live scanning of the coins, because I'm busy trying to talk to you guys and give you information and not sound like an idiot. Sometimes little errors get past me. So I was reviewing this latest edition of one of my videos before I produced it, and realized that the commentary track, the microphone wasn't working as I was shooting this video. So I have this entire coin roll hunt of state quarters looking for errors with no audio. And I didn't want to throw away a whole hour's worth of footage, so I thought, well, what could I do? Well, I'll replay the video, get on screen here, talk to you guys, give you some more information on what we're looking at, and then record the new audio track onto the old video and somehow try and salvage a huge screw up on my part. So here we go on my first attempt to salvage an otherwise bad situation. Okay, so we're looking at a 2008 Arizona quarter, and over here I've got an example of the errors we're looking for pulled up. These are die breaks. Extra areas are filled in here. They're calling these the extra cactus variety. So when the coin here, which is my live view at the time, rotates around, we're looking for a spot here above the 2 in 2008. Then again over here along this cactus, it covers up the designer initials here. And the letters are JM, so let me take a quick look. Give the designer some credit for this. Joseph Mena. And right here, these are his initials. And you can tell over here they're obliterated by what they're calling an extra cactus. So I'm going through this video. I do have them all stacked, so to speak. So we're going to look at several examples of the Arizona coin. And here I found my first minor error. You see the center of the A is filled in. That's from a die chip. You can see over here there should be a little divot in the center of the A, like there is in A's in the English language, but there isn't one there, so there's a little die chip. And I'm not seeing anything else of interest. A whole bunch of damage right there on the top of the cactus. And from time to time, I'm still learning how to use this USB microscope I've got. It has a little LED light ring on the camera end of it. I can turn the intensity up and down. It produces really different effects on the coins. You can see a lot of glare through here because of the lights. And that's a little bit distracting at times. So at certain times in this video, you'll see me turn the intensity of those lights up and down, trying to get the best effect. So we're moving on to the next one. Clearly the initials are there. That's not an extra cactus, and there's nothing going on above the 2 and the date. So there's not much going on here, at least from the known standpoint of errors. So now I'm looking around the rest of the coin, looking for other things, because generally speaking, if you have a cud, die chip, die break, whatever you want to call them, in this area, there's probably other areas through here that are also very, very thin and fragile on the die that could also host some die breaks and make some more errors. So although I've got these 2 areas here circled, I'm also looking at every other area of the design, which has very small and intricate work, because it'd be very easy for the die to break through here and create some extra cactus or extra flowers or whatever they want to call them up in these areas as well. So I'm just keeping an eye on basically everything. Errors can happen at any time, at any place on a coin. next one. There's the initials. And nothing going on there. Checking all around the rim. The next one. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't find any of the extra cactus or the extra cactus error around the date here. I'm in a lot of coin groups on Facebook, and this is a fairly prevalent error. A lot of the members of the group have found that. I have yet to find it, so I'm still on the hunt. Well, I do have an extra little window pulled up over here off the side you guys can't see. I can give you some more information on these coins as we're going along. This Arizona coin was released on June 2nd, 2008. So it's been in circulation for almost a decade now. And the mintage of it was 509.6 million. Which, if you compare that to the earlier issues in the 50-state quarter series, the 1999s averaged about, started at 700 million, worked its way up to 900 million, at 1.3 billion, 1.2, 1.3, 1.1, 1.5 billion up until the year 2000. Then, if you all remember the fairly substantial economic meltdown here in the U.S. and worldwide, for that matter, in 2007, 2008, 2009, and a little bit up to even today. Change was not really needed that much. Our economy had slowed so much that the billions of coins they had struck earlier in the state quarter series were still inadequate circulation and adequate enough numbers where they didn't need to keep striking billions of quarters every year. So whereas the 1999-2000 quarters were in the 1.2 to 1.5 billion piece range for each state, not the entire year, mind you, for each state. 1 billion coins, give or take some, up until 2009, when we get to the economic slowdown, and they're only striking 172 million, 87 million, 72 million. And that was for the last 5, the districts of Colombia, Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa. Just tiny fractions of mintages from the earlier state years. So next up is the Minnesota quarter. The error most associated with the Minnesota quarter is an extra tree, they're calling it. It's a double die variety. And allegedly, this tree here was stamped over here by mistake, and we're looking for it in this area right here. This is another error which eludes me. I'm assured there are a lot of them out there. I haven't come across one yet. So I have a small stack of these Minnesota quarters from 2005. And just to give the designer his proper due, the designer is Charles L. Vickers. And this coin was released on April 4th, 2005. 488 million minted. So, again, you can see the numbers, even going toward that economic slowdown, we're starting to come down some. In fact, of the 2005 issues, Minnesota had the lowest issue. This coin was struck at 488 million pieces. The next lowest mintage was California at 520 million. Now that's still a lot of pieces, especially if you look all the way down toward the end of the state quarters into the territory quarters, and there's only 72 million of those minted for some of the territories. So still quite a few coins out there. 488 million, but for the year 2005, this was the lowest mintage quarter of that year, and there's a cool error associated with it. So demand for this coin, especially the ones with the error attributed to them, is pretty high. Again, we're looking in this area right here for this detail, the extra tree, and I've not found one yet. I'm still searching, but as long as we're here, there are other things we can talk about. Even though this is a non-error quarter, this giant swath you're seeing right here, the circular damage through the year and then all the way up through the design, all the way up to the top part of the design, all the way down through here. That's post-mint damage. It's caused by a coin rolling machine. This coin was shoved into a tube, and the tube was, by the machine, the tube was sealed, and the act of sealing the coin in a circular motion produced this damage right here. I see this as a pretty common question new collectors have. They think this is a mint error. It's not. It's caused by coin roll damage, a coin rolling machine damaging the coin, like at Brinks or at a bank that has one of these machines. So if you see the perfectly circular arc around the coin, it's post-mint damage. And this is one of the few cases I'm kind of glad where this coin is not an error, because it's so messed up with that coin roll machine damage on it that if there was an error here, it'd be pretty much worth just face value. No error. No error. No error. So what I'm doing here is just looking around the rest of the design, looking for anything else anomalous. And again, what you're watching here is not live. It's a video I shot previously, and I accidentally shut off the audio portion of the recording, so all my commentary from this original video is lost. So now I'm replaying the video in my office, trying to recreate what I was saying while I was looking at this stuff up here. And although I didn't find any errors on these coins right here, I may have missed something. So this is what I've told you guys I do frequently, is rewatch my videos to see if I've missed anything on the first run through. Clearly no error there, no extra tree. This coin's been in circulation since 2005, so there's plenty of damage all around it. Okay, so I've paused the above video for 1 second. We're moving on to Wisconsin, and this is the extra low leaf or extra high leaf variety I'm searching for. But there's something very important that I want to pass along to you guys. I'm doing a search here for just the really popular double dyes, the ones that made the news, basically, the ones everyone are looking for. But there are a number of other double dyes and errors on the state quarters. And if you look around the internet, chances are you're only going to find the popular ones, the popular errors up top. But if you really look into your coins, into your collection, and look closer and do further research on the internet, you're going to find that there are a multitude of double dyes out there that you're probably not looking for. Now, one of the best sites I've come across is Wexler's Coins and Dye Varieties. And that is at doubleddye.com. In a couple previous videos, I mentioned that website when I was searching Lincoln roll hunting for wheat cents. But they also have a very impressive list of double dyes for the state quarter program. In fact, I pulled up that page for the Wisconsin quarter, which I'm about to search here. And let me move this over. And I found this. Another form of the double dye that I wasn't really looking for. In fact, that most people probably don't even know exist. With the cow's nostrils being doubled right here. And that's not something that I was looking for when I shot this video originally. So now, as I research our hobby more, research the coins I'm looking through more, I'm finding more and more things to look for. And instead of just pulling out the coins that I've already looked through once or twice now, I pull up the video that I've already shot, and I watch the video and look for these other things that I've now or since learned are errors. So when we go through this Wisconsin quarter here, not only am I going to be looking for, well, when I shot this video, I was only looking for the leaf, the high leaf and low leaf varieties. But now watching this video through the second time, I'm also going to be watching for this double dye on the cow's nostril. And I wasn't looking for it when I shot the video. I'm looking for it now. So I'm going to have to pause the video and say, hey, look, I just found something here on the replay that I didn't see on the first hunt. So stay tuned, because even I don't know where this is going to go. So let's roll with my initial hunt through the Wisconsin quarter. So just like the other quarters that came before this one, I'll give you guys a shout out for the designer, which was Alfred Maletsky. Sorry, Alfred. This quarter was released on October 25th, 2004, and the mintage was 453.2 million. And of course, there are no high or low leaf errors on this one. So we're going through the rest of the quarter design looking for anything else that I haven't heard about, or maybe no one's heard about, because sometimes errors aren't discovered until they're discovered. So even on a coin that's been out in circulation for going on 13 years, there might be small errors out there that no one's found yet, and there might be unique errors on this one coin or a handful of coins that no one's seen yet. So every time you're looking at a coin under a microscope, you're kind of charting new waters. Now this coin has some machine damage on the top of the letters here. You can see some ejection damage. Now sometimes that will smear to the north or the south or to the east or the west and smear the letter over, much like this is right there, as a now I'm moving away. Or on the S right here, that's been smeared. And Beginning collectors will call that doubling. Well, it's not really doubling, it's just moving the metal from one part of the design over, leaving the remnants of the first part of the design. So it looks like it's doubled. It's not. It's actually damage to the coin from it being ejected from the die. In this case, it does look doubled at all. That portion right there looks doubled. You can still see the original outline of the C, and the metal's been moved up. But to the rest of the design, these letters here have actually been compacted down a little bit. But that's all just actually mint damage, not post-mint damage, mint damage. Some people would consider that an error. Technically, it is an error, but it's not a desirable error. It's a very common error. It's actually caused by a loose tolerance on the die. So the quarter is damaged, not collectible. You can kind of think of an ink smear on a newspaper as being similar to what this ejection damage is on a coin. Because if a newspaper has an ink smear on the front page, you wouldn't pay more for it. Translate that over to coins, because the coin has a metal smear on it from being ejected improperly. You wouldn't pay more for that. It's technically damaged. Oh, let's see. Thought I saw something there. Well, that C is really prone to damage, isn't it? There, the S, top of the S is also damaged. I'm not seeing an extra nostril on the cow there, so not seeing one there. There's that damage on the C again. Must have been a really prominent sticking point on the coin when it was being ejected. There we go. There's something here. A few things here, actually. I'll come back to this, I'm sure. I'm fairly certain I recognized this when I saw it the first time. Yep, there we go. I'm rotating the coin around, getting a different vantage point with the light. And here I'm showing the area that I'm concerned about, whether it's a damage or damage to the coin or damage to the die. That area is raised. This is damage to the die. This whole area right here is raised, almost like a little lightning bolt. You can see the shadows kicking in when I put my finger on that side of the camera. So this is a raised portion of the design, and it goes through the field, underneath the letter, back into the field, underneath the letter, back into the field. So that tells me it was actually a die gouge cut into the die, and then that gouge was then transferred to the coins, making it raised. Anything on the die that is ground into the die or gouged into the die, recessed, comes out as a raised element on the coin. So a gouge on the die equals a raised portion of metal on the coin. And since that area was raised, I can tell it was gouged into the die, not into the coin. So that's a mint error. And here I'm seeing something a little bit weird. I'm thinking maybe this is the start of this low leaf error. If maybe what created this error is still very much up for contention. Some people think it was a mint worker who just carved those in to be funny, because they're two completely different designs here, the low leaf and the high leaf variety. Here I'm seeing some cracking along the rim of the coin. Looks like maybe metal fatigue, maybe a little bit of lamination error. Getting back to the extra leaf here, no one really knows what caused this error. The speculation is that a mint worker got bored and took his die cleaning chisel or a screwdriver or something and carved it in, just trying to be funny. Or maybe trying to create an error for us. Who knows? Like I said, this is just speculation. But there's nothing in this extra leaf design that could be doubled from somewhere else. So this is not a doubled die. This is an extra part of the design carved into the die before it was struck, and it was not intended to be there. So this is a man-made error in some fashion. We just don't know how or why. No one stepped forward to take credit for it yet. So this might be one of the numismatic mysteries of the century. And like the 1913 nickel, the story will probably come out in the future when somebody decides to say, hey, I did that. I was goofing around one day. So anyway, let's get back to it. And there's that fatigue crack, I'll call it, along the rim. It's not spectacular in any sense of the imagination, so I'm not concerned about it. Moving along to the 2007 Wyoming quarter, and I'll be looking for this error up here. This is a double die. Presumably it's from this doubled down to here, or could even be from here doubled down there. Now, I'm going into this one with something up my sleeve. I'll just leave it at that. And when we come across it, hopefully you'll see it on the video. I'll pause the recording, and then I'll tell you the story behind the coin. So, I'm on to the second example here. You can see, again, no doubling and in this area on the coin, so it's not the double die that I'm looking for. And I'm running around the rest of the quarter looking for anything out of the norm. Again, as I had searched rolls earlier, I separated all the states into their own little pile so I could go through each state separately, look for the one or two errors known for that quarter, and just go through a whole bunch of them during the search here. Going on to the next one. Again, nothing out of the ordinary with the previous quarters. Just searching around the rim and throughout all the devices looking for anything out of the normal. Not coming up with anything, or not much anyway. This weird little anomaly here I determined later to be a little daub of super glue. But here it caught my eye, so I'm taking a closer look at it. And like so many other state quarters, you can see the issue with the ejection doubling up here, damaging the tops of the letters. And this coin's been in circulation for a decade. You can see lots of dents and dings and circulation wear on these coins. And again, no error. At least not the attributed double die error that I'm looking for. And you just got to peek something there. Here we go. Now I've paused the video at this point because I'm seeing something here that I don't know what it is. It is not this little design flaw here of the double die that I was looking for, but it's in the same area, but it's a whole lot bigger. So here's the story part. I took a picture of this coin, posted it on several coin forums around the web, said, what is this? It doesn't look anything like the attributed double die, but it's in the same area, and it actually follows the contour of this saddle fairly precisely, and it looks doubled to me at the time, and now, as a matter of fact, it still looks doubled to me. So I took a picture of this coin, posted it on several of the coin forums, and many comments were made that this is machine doubling. Like I've told you guys earlier, ejection doubling or machine doubling. The coin momentarily, for just a fraction of a second, gets stuck in the die. When the coin's ejected, it smears the metal in one direction or the other, causing a ghosting of the image of the design element, and that's not doubling double die, it's machine doubling, it's damage. So the opinion on this exact coin, on all the coin forums I submitted the photo to, was that was ejection or machine doubling. And I kind of agreed. I even said in some of the comments, it looks like it could be, but I'm not sure. I'm going to hold on to it and check further later. And everybody said, oh, it's worth 25 cents. Feel free to spend it. Well, yes, it's worth 25 cents. It's a quarter. But I wasn't sure. So I shot this video a couple months ago. And in the intervening time from when I found this quarter and when I'm shooting the video now, I came across some very informative websites. And there we go. This is on a doubleddie.com. Again, it's the Wexler's Coin and Die Varieties page. And lo and behold, it is actually a double die attributed as WDDR-002. Doubling shows along the right side of the saddle horn. There we go. That's exactly what I have. Let me try to move this around. You don't need to see me. I'm out of the picture for the moment. But there you go. This is attributed to 002. It's on doubleddie.com, and that is exactly what I have here. Now, the point of saying all this is not, haha, told you so, to other coin experts. It's that even experts sometimes are fooled. Now, when I posted this, I'm sure a lot of the people on the pages went and Googled the double die reverse for the Wyoming quarter, and nothing like this came up. They all got this. So they were all looking at this and saying, that's the double die, this is not, so this has got to be machine doubling or ejection doubling. Well, the point of the story is, 1, even experts can be fooled sometimes. 2, not all double dies, or errors for that matter, are known at any given point. This was not posted on any website when I found the coin. And what I should have done is submitted it so it could be attributed. But I didn't have that much confidence in what I suspected this being a double die. I thought, well, all these people who I know online and respect and have a lot more coin knowledge than I do. Some are dealers, some have been in the business for 20 or 30 years. Some have been collectors for 30 or 40 years, longer than I. They all think this is machine doubling, so it's probably machine doubling. But I held on to the quarter. In fact, it's right over here. There we go. I held on to it because I wasn't sure, and I figured, well, if nothing else, it's pretty neat, so I'll hang on to it. And I'm glad I did, because couple months later, there we go. It's been attributed. It is actually a double die reverse, and I found one during this hunt. So it just goes to show that not all experts know everything. Most collectors narrow their focus down to a certain line of coins, so to speak, whether it's Washington quarters or Lincoln wheat cents. So they focus all their knowledge and all their time and effort on that very narrow band of coin knowledge, and they are experts in that particular area. And here we go. I'm pointing out what I'm seeing here on the video. I'm more of a generalist. I collect a little bit of everything. So I know something about a lot of stuff, but not everything about anything in particular. So really finding this, and there I go. I'm taking a screenshot of the coin. That's what I sent to the coin groups right there, that screenshot you just saw me do. So when you come across something that you don't know what it is, hang on to it. And even if you contact the experts and they tell you it's definitely not this, it's something else, well, maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But 9 times out of 10, when an expert gives you an opinion, they're right. I just happened to catch, I happened to be the lucky dog that caught the one thing that no one else really knew what it was, and they weren't looking for it. So I call that a win. And I have a new double die reverse Wyoming quarter in my collection, and I can now put it in this little flip folder and identify it as 002 for that year. So anyway, I'm wrapping up this part of the video. I'm going to go through the rest of these Wyoming quarters, and I didn't find anything of interest there, so this is pretty much going to wrap it up. And I'll see you guys on the next video.